Hey everyone, Varric here. So today's video is going to be on Heroic Jin'rokh. However, before we get started, I would like to mention that I won't be going over every single ability that the boss has. Reason being is when you go to Heroic modes, you're still going to be dealing with the normal mode mechanics, with just the added Heroic mode version on top of that. So there's really no reason for me to repeat myself from my normal mode videos. So if you want a real in-depth explanation of the normal mode mechanics, I recommend watching my normal mode videos first and then coming back and watching the heroic mode. But I just wanted to mention that, and this will be, again, prevalent through the rest of my heroic mode videos. Now, in particular with Jin'rokh, really there's only two added mechanics that you have to worry about on top of the normal mode. Obviously with him having added HP and doing more damage, that's kind of goes without saying. But this fight's almost exactly the same other than two added mechanics. The first being called ionization. What this is that about a minute into the fight, or usually about halfway through the first puddle, once he thundering throws your tank, he will apply a raid-wide debuff, except for the tanks. It lasts 24 seconds. Now the debuff itself, while it's on you, will do absolutely nothing. However, if this ability or this debuff is dispelled or that should wear off, it will deal about 400k damage to you or anybody that's within 8 yards of you. So it's very important that you're, one, not standing in the puddle when this ability, should it be dispelled or it should wear off. Otherwise, you're just going to pretty much wipe the raid. Two, make sure that you're spread out. If, again, this is raid wide except for the tank, so everybody's going to have to eventually get out of the puddle. So it's imperative that you spread out and make sure you don't hit somebody else, because if two people get the same ionization to go off at the same time, they're going to kill each other. I should mention, though, however, hunters have a little bit of a cheat on this, but it does take a little bit of tricky timing. Right before he casts ionization, if you time it just right and you cast deterrence, you can actually keep this debuff from even being applied to you, where you don't even have to worry about it. You can pretty much completely negate this effect altogether. It is a little tricky to learn the timing. Sometimes DBM might be a little off, so you just have to kind of watch his tail when he gets ready to cast it, and then hit deterrence, let him cast it, and then you can cancel or and then go back to attacking. It makes things a lot easier for that fact, because you don't ever have to move out of the puddle with this debuff on you, and then you can just keep attacking. But again, it takes a little bit of practice to get it down, but it's really handy to have. But the fight will pretty much progress the same as it does on normal until you get to the lightning storm portion, after he starts to charge the puddle. Now, along with the lightning storm effect, which is, again, going to be raid-wide damage in of itself, there's an added mechanic called Lightning Strike. And this will last the same time as the Lightning Storm. What Lightning Strike will do is that random parts of the room, you'll see lightning hit the ground. And if you're anywhere near where the lightning hits the ground, it's going to deal a decent amount of damage to you. So just try to keep moving and try to stay spread out. On top of that, when the lightning hits the ground, it's going to spawn 4 sparks of lightning, or 4 little lightning balls, and these will travel in 4 random directions. They travel in a straight line pretty much. However, there's going to be multiple lightning strikes. This means there's probably going to be dozens of these lightning balls all over the place. If you should come into contact with any of these lightning balls, they're going to do about, I believe it's 200 or 250k damage, which means you're probably not going to survive more than a touch of 1 or maybe 2 of these if you get a heal or pop a hellstone or something. So it pretty much becomes a huge game of dodgeball. Just try to get good practice in of dodging these balls, and try to stay spread out. This is probably what's going to wipe your raid for a good portion until everybody gets used to dodging. Some people are better at movement heavy fights than others. Healers might have a harder time, especially ones that have a hard time healing on the move. They're probably going to have the hardest time with this fight. But really, after that, it's right back to the same thing on normal mode. He'll go back to tanking. He'll eventually thundering throw the tank to one of the statues. You'll get in the puddle. You'll deal damage. You'll get out with, if you have focused lightning. It's the same exact fight other than ionization and the added lightning strike during lightning storm. I should mention though, if you don't feel comfortable or you start to keep dying a lot during the lightning strike phase, you can save your deterrence. But again, it's not going to negate the damage completely if you come into contact with the lightning. It will just mitigate the damage depending on whether, obviously it's 30% unglyphed or 50% if you glyph it. But it can buy you maybe an extra ball or two if you're not real adept at dodging the balls at first. I personally still use it for ionization. It just helps me, not worry about that damage at all. But if you're still trying to get a comfort level with the fight, then feel free to save your deterrence for the lightning strike phase. But that's pretty much it for this fight. Again, it's make sure you stand in the puddle to get the buff. Get out when he starts to cast lightning storm. Stay spread out during lightning storm. Again, if you get focused lightning, make sure to deposit the focused lightnings on the outside edges of the room. Don't put two on top of each other or they'll explode. Again, pretty much the same thing as normal mode fight. But if you have any questions, concerns, or complaints, just leave them down in the comments section down below. Hopefully the video was helpful. But as always, I appreciate you guys watching, and I will see you later.